Well, anyway, I think one other issue I would want you to corroborate or deny, there's this letter we have here. Channels Television has a letter from the Federal Minister of Education dated 12th of March, which was written to the Governor of Borno State, Dr. Kashim Shettima, on security challenges and the conduct of the 2014 WASC SSC in Borno, Yobe and parts of Adamawa. The content of this particular letter has it that he's been advised to make alternative arrangements for the students. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Gusau, I can hear you, but can you hear me? Well, if you can hear me, I actually wanted you to...
Can you hear me?
No, we seem to be having some problems with that connection. But if you can hear me, I wanted you to let us in on what you know about... Well, we lost that call, and we hope to re-establish that call with Isa Gusau, the SA media to the Governor of Borno State. He's been speaking specifically on the security situation in Borno, and he's just told us how the figure was arrived at, trying to identify the schoolgirls on that particular video released by Boko Haram. And he says a whole lot has been, well, done on that, and the process is still ongoing. And in Nyota, if you look at it, it would be nice for him to let us in more on this particular one, because for now, he said, well, they're doing something for the parents of these young schoolgirls who have been abducted, which is very key here, knowing full well that psychologically, well, we must also take care of these people in that part of the country. But in moving forward, well, I think the states, I think, Mr. Gusau, I guess you're back. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
Oh, that's fantastic. I actually wanted you to react. Tell us what you know about this letter from the Federal Minister of Education, signed by the Minister of Education, to the Governor of Borno State, talking about the importance of him moving some of these people, specifically those in Chibok, to Maiduguri, where they'll be better managed security-wise for the exams. Did you get this particular letter that has gone round that we have here?
You see, like I said earlier, when things like this happen, all the federal government has been doing, as far as I'm concerned, is a blame game. For all, Chibok was never a place that was considered unsafe. Not by Borno State, not by the federal government, or even by the West. If that school was considered unsafe, no right-thinking parents would have allowed his or her child to be in that school. This is the fact of the matter. It just so happened, most unfortunately, that that tragedy happened that day. So that till the day that we are talking, it's just a blame game. All the federal government is doing, to the best of my knowledge, I believe the federal government is concerned in its own way, but I think the focus has been more of who to blame. Because this government has never shied away from responsibility. We have never at any point come out to say that, look, nobody should look up to the Borno State on account of whatever happened. No. Government, a responsible government, does not shy away from its responsibilities. You stand by it, you confront it, and you try to manage it and solve it.
Mr. Gusau,
problems are meant to be solved.
Mr. Gusau, if I may come in here, like I said earlier, are you saying you didn't see the letter?
The delegation from the Federal Ministry of Education has visited Borno. Not even the Minister of Women Affairs, who is from the Northeast. Adamawa is just next door neighbor to Borno State.
Mr. Gusau,
So I think we should go beyond all these things that are being said. Let us face the reality. And the reality is that there have been some mistakes in terms of protecting these girls when the attack came. But the fact of the matter is that Chibok, Government Secondary School Chibok, was never considered unsafe as the picture has been created now.
Mr. Gusau, are you saying you did you see the letter, or do you know about the letter?
I really don't know about that letter that they are talking about, but what I know is that a meeting was held that involved every stakeholder in the educational sector, whether the Federal Ministry of Education, the WAEC, the state government, security officials. There was an enlarged meeting that had everybody's participation. In that meeting, it was agreed that, Borno, there were challenges of security in some part of Borno. So it was obvious that we couldn't conduct exams across the entire state, for the SSC students. So it was agreed that students should be converged in places that were considered safe. And Chibok was one of those places that was considered safe. So students of about 4 communities were relocated to Chibok. Students of about 7 communities were relocated to Lassa. Students of about 6 communities were relocated to Uba, and things like that. That place was never an unsafe zone. So the issue of saying the Nigerian police force came out and said that they were providing security in the daytime, but they were not providing security at night, and they were not aware that these students, were passing the night. To me, there was even no need for the police to say all that. The fact of the matter is that that place was never considered an unsafe zone.
All right, okay. Going forward, hello, Mr. Gusau.
The State government went ahead as they claimed that they alerted the state government that that place was not safe, and the state government went ahead and conducted it. Majority of the students of that place are citizens of Chibok local government area.
Well, so you have to listen to me so that we can make this as quick as possible, so that I can put some questions across to you rather. So in going forward, because you talked about us not making this a blame game from the federal government and the Borno State government, because basically what people want is they want our girls back. And what can you tell us concerning efforts from your side in making sure that this is resolved as quickly as possible?
Okay, what the Borno State government is doing is basically to whatever kind of support the military needs in terms of material support, the state government provides it promptly. The state government, again, is deeply involved in information gathering. We have a very robust local sourcing of information through hunters, vigilantes, traditional rulers, and community members across the 27 local government areas. And so much is being done in information sourcing, and every information available to the state government is promptly provided to the security.
So what can you tell us about the incident that happened in Malari barracks? Because this is all towards getting the girls out. We understand that some people were ambushed on their way going to Sambisa forest. Do you know anything about that?
Well, that is within the military circle. I am not at liberty to comment on issues pertaining, to the military, because it's entirely a military issue. So I want to avoid, getting involved into that. I'll plead with you not to speak on that issue.
Well, in trying not to pick on that issue, I understand, you agree that your principal is the chief security officer of the state. Perhaps they must have actually told him what happened. In trying, he said he knows where the girls are. And people were worried when he dropped that, saying that this could jeopardize, the rescue of these girls. Do you think your government truly is aware of the whereabouts of these girls?
The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria at the media chat did say that he gave an insight of where he thought, these girls, could be. There have been a lot of, comments, to that effect. Look, the fact of the matter is this. This insurgency did not start today. It has been on in the last 3 years. There has been robust information sharing between the Borno State government and the military. The same federal government, some officials at the federal government are accusing the governor of not being cooperative with the federal government. And the governor thought, look, it was necessary for the Nigerian public to know that indeed efforts were being made. This is the fact of the matter. Otherwise, why didn't the governor speak in the last 3 years? Look, there are things, like the governor said, there are things that we cannot tell. The defense headquarters, I remember Major General Lawrence Ndugbani, the director of operations at the defense headquarters, did say something, that Governor Kaji Shettima is one of the few governors in Nigeria that gives exceptional intelligence to the military. This is what the director of operations said. And he was in position to know more than every other security consultant. He is the person, but he said so. And I believe that he spoke from an informed, perspective. The governor is deeply committed in this information gathering. He does so much that the military in Borno, will tell you. Forget about what you hear in Abuja. There's an excellent cooperation between the Borno State Government and the security agencies, all the security agencies and paramilitary, in Borno State.
Okay, can you comment on the fact that there's this issue of discrepancies in information or the stories out there? Why do we have these discrepancies if you have such a robust information system?
How do we have discrepancy over what, sir?
There are different stories that are coming forth, numbers, figures, for instance, 54, 77, 200, 230 days, 120, that. Why do we have these discrepancies?
You see, the fact of the matter is, the problem as far as I'm concerned is that there has not been good communication, cooperation in terms of communication, between all the stakeholders, the federal and the state government, the security agencies at the national level and at the state level. I think there has been a problem of, communication. Like I said that day, the first discrepancy over this figures actually started when there was an announcement that about 188 people were free. Then on our part too, there was this problem of saying 129 because that was the figure of the students that were thought to be in the school. The number of over 200 people came about after the Borno State Governor directed that a register be opened, for parents to lodge complaints. But based on investigation conducted by the Department of State Service and the Nigerian Police Command in Borno State, the conclusion is that 276 girls, are missing, out of which 53 girls, have been found. So 223 girls are presumed, missing, at the moment. That is the figure that we stand for. And with regard to this issue of 5477, I sent an email to over 3 different persons in channels, explaining to you that the identification is an ongoing process. As more people are identified, we try to brief the media so that we keep the media promptly updated. Okay. I told you as at 4 p.m. on Tuesday, 54 girls had been identified by their names. As at 9 p.m., 23 more girls were identified by names, and I promptly, sent an email to virtually all local and international media organizations, including the channels. Okay. So I don't
How many have been identified now?
Any confusion regarding that figure?
Have there been any more identified?
Well, like I said, we're going to update the media every day. There will be an update later today. So if more girls are identified, that will be made public.
Okay, very quickly before we leave you, there's this report of 200 Boko Haram members being killed by a vigilance group in Borno State. We wanted to confirm that story from you.
Well, I don't want to give figures because I realized over the years as a journalist that we seem to have a lot of problems with figures in Nigeria.
Well, anyway, Mr. Gusau, quickly, we actually wanted you to confirm if any of such did happen. Taking off the figure, was there an onslaught on the Boko Haram members by a vigilance group?
Yeah, it is true that there was a resistance by community members in Kalabalge, local government area of Borno State. The sect members came in droves. They attempted to attack the community like they have always done. And the community members resisted that attack, and scores, of the sect members were actually killed. Like I had said earlier, there's a mass movement, in Borno State. The people of Borno State are doing everything within their power to resist, all these attacks. And of course, the Borno State government is inspiring them, and supporting them.
Okay, the question we asked was in specific terms whether the state government had a vigilance group. That was a question I asked before we lost contact.
Yeah, we do have. We do have a vigilance group. We have what we call civilian JTF. The civilian JTF are youth volunteers who do so much in working with the military. These people were trained by the Borno State Government through a collaboration with the military. The state government funded the training. The state government equipped them, with patrol vehicles, equipped them with their sort of attires, boots, and what have you. The state government also pays them salary.
Well, Isa Gusau, would like to thank you so very much for speaking with us here this morning on Sunrise Daily. Well, we'll get back to you as the story develops on this particular matter in Borno State, and we'll be glad to hear the good news about
I'm very proud of
the freedom of
television.
those girls. Well, many thanks again.